Remember we going in here?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, this control room is different than it used to be.
Bob Iger runs the $239 billion Disney media empire. And right now, he's feeling nostalgic.
I saw Howard Cosell interview Muhammad Ali in this studio.
Everyone remembers their first break.
They used to call me Bobby. You know, so anyone who calls me Bobby on 66th Street, they worked with me a long time ago.
And Iger's was here at ABC 45 years ago as a studio supervisor, making $150 a week.
I remember people saying to me, "You're going places." I'm thinking, like, what do they know? I did not have a particularly unique background, intelligence, but I worked hard. Yeah. And in some cases, I could outwork anybody else.
His legendary work ethic, including 4 a.m. workouts, helped him transform Disney, ABC's parent company, ushering in massive hits like The Lion King, Frozen, and Avengers Endgame. The company's net income increasing more than 400% since he took over in 2005. In his new memoir, The Ride of a Lifetime, Iger chronicles the core values that helped him triumph through decades of corporate jiu-jitsu, including eye-popping multi-billion-dollar deals like the latest with 21st Century Fox.
You have an entire chapter about innovate or die, which sounds a little Darwinian.
Yeah.
But who survives in this survival of the fittest?
Well, I think it begins with being bold. This world today is so unpredictable and moving so fast. Baby steps don't work.
Perhaps his boldest move yet, launching Disney Plus this November, which means pulling blockbusters like The Avengers and Star Wars off other streaming services.
You're taking losses on the licensing fees side in order to assure the future. Is Disney late to the game? And how do you take on Netflix?
Well, we're not late to the game because the game's still going on. We're not really taking on Netflix. We're bringing Disney out, and the Disney includes Disney and Pixar and Marvel and Star Wars and National Geographic.
And yet when people look at their monthly bills, how many streaming services is a person going to pay for?
Well, I think there's room for people to buy multiple services, and I think they will. We're entering a very, very robust marketplace.
It's a media marketplace Iger has mastered over decades. But first, he had to ditch this dream.
Good evening, I'm Bob Iger.
You started as a weatherman.
Yes.
I managed to dig up this fabulous photo of you from Cable Channel 2, Evening News in Ithaca, New York.
That's a sorry picture.
Why did you cut your on-air career short?
I wasn't that good at it, which is something I discovered relatively early on, and I just didn't think I'd end up in a role that would be fulfilling enough. I wasn't good enough.
It wasn't long before the kid from middle-class Long Island, whose father suffered from mental illness, found himself working at ABC Sports.
How do you think navigating your dad's moods helped you deal with crises of personalities later in life?
Manic depression is an illness, and there was a lot of unpredictability at home. There was never any time that I felt endangered in any way, but was clearly aware of him being in a very, very dark place. I think managing people starts with the ability to put yourself in their shoes and be empathetic.
That ability served Iger well, rising to the top of ABC Entertainment, greenlighting edgy shows like NYPD Blue and Twin Peaks.
My log saw something that night.
Doubling down on creativity, Iger saved Disney's ailing animation division by acquiring Pixar. But first, he had to woo Steve Jobs.
How did you get him to trust you with Pixar and this creative brand that he'd helped build?
He must have just seen in me something that he liked and was different. I don't know.
New toys!
He trusted that Pixar would be in good hands at Disney. He used to say that the intersection of liberal arts and technology made his heart sing.
Their friendship helped smooth the way for Iger to make acquisitions many thought were impossible, like George Lucas's namesake, LucasFilm.
It was a trust, which I was so grateful for. I respect him enormously.
And Marvel's universe of characters, paving the way for Disney's most daring movie yet.
Wakanda forever! Wakanda forever!
In the book, you talk about the Black Panther premiere as being one of your proudest achievements.
There are, very handful of days that I will remember for the rest of my life. I knew that we had something really special here, not just as a quality film and story, but something that actually could change the world. There was skepticism about a movie like that, particularly with a predominantly black cast, resonating around the world. Right. And yet it did.
Why do you think it took Hollywood so long to embrace main characters of color?
I think too many people rely on history and experience. It's much more exhilarating and much more important to believe what you believe is right and actually follow those instincts, follow your heart and your gut.
Iger's instincts have propelled him from humble beginnings to corporate titan, earning nearly $66 million this year.
CEOs are often criticized for this pay gap between executives and worker bees, so to speak.
We obviously have to care deeply about our employees because it all starts from them. They create the value for the company and for the customer. You know, there are over 200,000 Disney cast members or employees around the world. We've created tens of thousands of jobs in the U.S. We've created a lot of opportunity for the people who work for us. And we also compensate them well in the form of just annual compensation and other benefits.
But when employees cross the line, like Pixar's famed chief John Lasseter, Iger has dealt with them swiftly.
The Me Too movement was a seismic sort of event in the media world. It swept up a lot of executives, including John Lasseter. How did you deal with it from a management perspective?
Well, I think the first thing is not being in denial, accepting the fact that there is a problem, recognizing that it was time for considerable and change, almost on an emergency basis.
I was actually quite shocked to read about the incident that occurred when you were starting out in television. It was an illustration that sexual harassment is not about sex, it's about power.
I was a very low-level production person on the evening news, and I had to go into a control room to ask whether we had to shoot parts of the show again. As a producer, I think I asked him, how does it look? And he unzipped his pants. You tell me how it looks. It doesn't, it's actually, I can chuckle about it a bit. There's nothing funny about it at all. But it is telling in a sense that if that could happen to me, you know, that it has happened way too often. You have to create an environment where that it is thoroughly unacceptable to behave that way.
Integrity, says Iger, is his touchstone. The 68-year-old plans to retire in 2021. His closest confidant, wife Willow Bay, mom to 2 of his 4 kids.
In Toy Story 3, when Andy goes off to college, I wept.
Well, I have 4 kids. 3 of them have gone off to college. And I'd say on all 3 occasions, I had tears in my eyes. There's a shot that is over the shoulders of Buzz and Woody. So it was from their perspective, seeing Andy drive away. And it was, that parting.
So long, partner.
Of this loving, close relationship that just touches your heart. Leaving a company with this legacy and with this role in good hands, in a good place, is what I want my legacy to be, and to just bring the world happiness and entertainment and a sense of well-being that I think it truly needs.
And proceeds from Bob Iger's book will fund diversity at journalism schools across the country.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.